Hello everybody, Ragtag Sagvi here. Welcome to the next episode as I'm standing next to this creepy statue of ourselves with Miyamoto's face and the inspiration of one of the most famous gaming creepypastas ever, Been Drowned. Which seriously, go give that a read. That's actually a really good read. I haven't read it in a very long time. I would highly recommend looking up the original because I think there's been a few retellings of it. And I think even some sequels to it, oddly enough. But yeah, so I would recommend giving that a read. I used to read actually a fair bit of creepypastas, actually. How did I get rid of this block? I'm trying to remember. Because despite it being sun out, you can't use the sun. I'm trying to remember how you get rid of this block. Because it's supposed to lead directly outside. Or do you get rid of the block from the other side? That might make more sense. Nope, that was the wrong note. But yeah, I used to read a fair bit of creepypastas in my high school years. Yeah, Ben Drown was one of them. The other few ones are some of the Pokemon ones. Some of the Pokemon ones I actually read were actually really good, like Loneliness. That's one of the saddest Pokemon creepypastas I've ever read. Really good, and it's actually one of the few that actually has gameplay accompanying it. Basically based on the idea of like Gary's Eevee. Bit of a sad one, so I don't know if I would recommend it. Although, oddly enough, I think that creepypasta has gotten sequels. Although I don't know if they're done by the same creator, or if they're done by a fan, or anyone associated with the creator. And then another one I remember is Eevee, with all the E's in the name capitalized and the V not capitalized. Basically, I think it was like a Heart Gold and Soul Silver creepypasta, where it's like somebody like gets like I think like a whole bunch of shiny Eevees and tries to evolve them in each of the evolutions. And the one I believe he tries to evolve into an Umbreon wants to be an Espeon. It goes horribly wrong from there. But yeah, very interesting creepypasta. And oddly enough, a lot of people like to ship Loneliness and Eevee together. Those two creepypastas together, which there's actually some adorable art for it, ironically enough. Now, have I fought you? So I know there's one new here, I just can't remember if I fought you specifically. I should open my wisdom. That which is acquired in Ikala Castle, so open to the way to the stone tower. Alright, so let's head to the stone tower. We're gonna start our climb today. We're not gonna do the temple today. Because I want to wait until the next cycle to actually do the temple. I just want to get the climb out of the way, because the climb is the most tedious part of Stone Tower. Now, rolling jumps are going to be your best friend here. Because some of the jumps are actually pretty tight. You can also use the Muddy Hood to give you that extra speed to get over jumps. Now, the way to get through Stone Tower is that you have to activate certain switches in like certain orders, so that way you can create pathways to go further up the tower. What I just killed was a Beamos. What? You don't know about the Beamos? Don't let its beam scare you. Just give it a good blast. It's weak to bombs, so, and I think bombs are the only thing that can kill Beamos in this game. So you can get that up here. Now, if you get off the switch, the block is going to go back to where it is. So, what you need to do is play, if I can find the song, The Elegy of Emptiness. Hang on, what was that note? Down. then yeah, basically go around. And I screwed up. Okay, why did it not accept? What am I screwing up in this song? Okay, that time I just clicked the wrong direction. There we go, I finally get this song right after 3,000 years. That ate up a good portion of our time, just me trying to get the song right. I forget if we have to activate the switch down there at all. Alright, that will get that up here. Yeah, I think I need to activate the bottom switch. So in order to do this, you need to use Utter Mask. If you just play the Elegy of Emptiness again, it's just gonna move the statue to over here. But if you do it as the Utter Transformations, you can create more heartless soldiers. Now this is really creepy. We move away, and look who it is. It is Dalmani. So unlike the others, where the Link statue is very creepy, you can see that they have soulless eyes. Because technically Dalmani and the others are dead. So yeah, that is very creepy. You can even see his scar and everything. So basically, you're summoning their corpse to stand on the buttons. Now, I'm just gonna tell you, never use the Deku. The Deku soldier is useless, because the Deku is too lightweight to hold down any button. So it's primarily useless. You're only going to be using Dalmani and Mikau. Hang on, I think I got that wrong. Here is Mikau's body. His statue is also utterly terrifying. Even has his guitar. Yeah, things get a little bit creepy. This is... Okay, good. It didn't grab on it instead of me flying to the goddamn rock. Yeah, Mikau's face is definitely very creepy. Like, Stone Tower, especially the temple, gets a bit creepy in this game. This is definitely the darkest area in the game. Like, it does a really decent job at creeping the player out with undead themes. Not to say that the Shadow Temple wasn't creepy, but this. Now, I believe we have to push these buttons in a particular order. Or they would do absolutely nothing. That moves that. I was about to say, I'm gonna get smacked in the face by a boulder, am I? Let's give you a bomb. That boulder just magically spawns out of the wall. Let me get higher up so that way I can see what I need to do, because Now, as we're climbing up this tower, I want to go through a bit of a theory I have about this tower. Now, this is based on my own theory, and also based on what I hear other people say. What is the correct way for this? Ow. These buttons down here do nothing. Let me move my soldier and see if it does something. So I'm trying to remember how you do this tower. But anyway, theory time. So, the mystery, the stone tower has a bit of mystery to it. It's unknown exactly what the stone tower was or what its purpose. Not the way I just came in. What do these buttons do? It doesn't show you unlike the other ones, so I don't know what it's triggering. Oh, I get it. They're supposed to be there so that way you have a way back. Ah. No wonder I don't remember. They're supposed to be there so that way you have a way out if you're going back down the tower. Anyway, a bit of a theory related to Stone Tower is that... I screw up the song. Is that nobody knows why Stone Tower was... How is that wrong? What am I getting wrong in the song? Nobody knows why Stone Tower was built. There are very little information about it. There's very little information about it. I don't even think the Hyrule Historia goes into too much detail about Stone Tower. But here's a bit of a theory that is mostly based on what I know and based on various things that I have come to a consensus to and think is likely, and also hearing other theories from other theorists and other Let's Players like Chuck Conroy and whatnot that have spoken about their theories about this place. So, it is believed that this tower was the catalyst, or at least was used in a pretty major war. Now, the actual origin of the tower is unknown because we don't know who built it and whatever its original purpose might have been. But it is believed that either the Akala Kingdom, the Akala Royals, commissioned this tower to be built, because if you check this tower and the architecture of this tower and the castle, you will notice that their architecture is very similar. So it could be reasonable that the king, which I doubt it's... Why did it went back down? Up. Because it may have been believed that the King Argos, or perhaps a ancestor of his, commissioned this tower. Either that, or this tower was built by a race long before the Akala Kingdom was built. Unknown if they were a different race to the Terminidians, or if they were probably a more ancient version of them. But it is believed, but they could have possibly built this tower for whatever purpose, and then when they either died out or left Termina, the citizens that would have eventually created Akala Kingdom discovered the tower and then used the tower as a basis of their architectural design to create their homes and, more importantly, the Akala Kingdom Castle. Which could be believable. Either or eventually the Akala Kingdom would use this tower as a basis, because This tower is, while not heavily based on the Tower of Babel, it is believed that it's inspired by the Tower of Babel. It has some similarities, but the intended purpose of the tower was not the intended purpose to say the tower from the Tower of Babel, where the Tower of Babel was built as humanity's attempts to try and reach the heavens and angered the gods and angered God as a result, causing God to strike down the tower, or believing it to be essentially a defiance of humanity's defiance. It is believed that that Stone Tower, while having some similarities to the Tower of Babel, had a completely different purpose. And this purpose is, how the fuck do I continue? This purpose is probably based on the... Where do I go? Can I make this jump? No, I cannot, and I get hit by a boulder as a result. Where do I go? I am lost because I don't see an easily shotable point. Oh, apparently I'm blind. Anyway, the Akala Tower had a much more different purpose. Because as we know, there was a war between, or at least it's implied that there was a war between Hyrule and Termina. As you saw from some of the statues, and the entrance of this place also had that same statue of the whatever entity is licking the mouth of... Do I need the Scarecrow? I swear to God, if I have to go back to town to get the Scarecrow, I am going to be so livid. I thought you can get up here without him. That this leads to pots, so I doubt I need him. That would be so bad game design if you need him to get up here when he's usually used for optional things. But yeah, before we continue, because we're now at the top of the tower, I want to finish this story. Alright, before we activate that owl statue and end things off. So yeah, it is believed that this tower was used during the war with Hyrule and Termina. Like I said, it is believed there's a war between them because Captain Keyes mentions when she gets his mask to tell him, tell my loyal soldiers that are loyal to me even in death, that the war has ended so they can rest in peace. So it would be believed that there could have been a war between Hyrule and Termina, especially since we have these statues licking the Triforce as a way to mock it, which is understandable. So it is believed that at some point during the war, this tower was used in a way for Akala to eventually try to gain power over Hyrule. Now, we'll go into more detail about this theory as it becomes more relevant. But this tower was essentially the main force behind Akala's power in this war, and it's what inevitably ended up getting them cursed, destroying the Akala Kingdom. So, up here when you get to this tower, you're gonna see an owl statue. Make sure you activate it. By the way, if you're Japanese, you're fucked. Because in the Japanese version, this owl statue did not exist. This was added in the Western releases, so thanks to Nintendo America for adding this owl statue, so that way your childhood was less of a nightmare. Because this owl statue did not exist in the Japanese version, so not only did you have to climb the tower, but you had to do the temple in one run. If you ever had to leave the temple for whatever reason, or if you were running out of time, you had no choice but to reset time, especially if you're running out of time, or go back down the tower and then do that long climb back up just to get access to the temple. Especially since every other temple had an owl statue next to it. So you had easy access. This temple was the exception. So yeah, Nintendo America added this owl statue in, so doesn't that force the player to redo that climb? Why is Song of Soaring not working? So yeah, thank Nintendo America, because yeah, if you were playing the Japanese version of this game, you had to redo that entire climb. So yeah, I believe in the 3DS version they did add that owl statue to the Japanese version, but yeah, the original Majora's Mask, there was no owl statue there in Japanese. So anyway, there's one thing I want to do before we reset time. Well, technically two things, but I should be able to fit that in one video. So I will travel back to Clock Town, and I will see you in the next episode where we do a few things before I reset time to do the temple in the next cycle. See you then!